Welcome to Touch Technology Review. Today, a quick response to a viewer inquiry about monetization on YouTube. Now, you may have noticed if you're producing content right now on the topic of this pandemic, which has swept the globe. I'm not going to mention the name of the pandemic because it starts with a C and it originated in China. You know what it is. If I say that word, my video is going to be marked for reduced monetization or complete demonetization. Not that it really concerns me because this type of content doesn't perform all that well for me on YouTube. Usually I only get a few hundred views, maybe 1,000, and that's not going to equate to any significant dollars anyway. This is more of an additional service I provide for my viewers where I comment upon what's going on YouTube. So it's not a monetization thing for me, but I know a lot of you are producing content that is based on social commentary and you already have a large viewership. And if you do start to cover this pandemic, mentioning that word, you are going to be demonetized. Now, what actually happens is that your video will be marked with a yellow $ instead of green. Green means open monetization and all advertisers are encouraged to advertise in your video. When you get a yellow mark on the $ in your YouTube Creator Studio for that particular video, that means that you haven't been completely demonetized, but it will be flagged as controversial content or content that is less advertiser friendly, and your advertisers are going to drop significantly. Now, what YouTube have said about this is that they are looking at encouraging different types of advertisers to promote content on yellow demonetized videos. So it doesn't mean you're going to be completely thrown out of the monetization game, but it means it could be reduced and at some stage it may be increased once again. So when you do produce videos that have anything that's controversial, or if you're dealing with a crisis that is unfolding and that video is considered to be potentially disruptive in any way, that they feel that you're not an authority on the topic, as they've done with this, I was about to say the C word, then it's possible that you'll get demonetized. The other thing that will happen with any video that you mention this pandemic, the actual name, is that they will put a authorized video below your video. So all of your viewers that are getting your opinions on your content are given the option to go to a reputable source of information as determined by YouTube. So it's good that they're not completely banning YouTubers from creating content on this pandemic, but you'll notice that in many respects, it's discouraging for some YouTubers to do so because they're going to be penalized in terms of monetization, if not completely removed from monetization for that video. If you do find that you are hit with a yellow demonetization badge, don't be concerned that they're going to demonetize your whole channel or negatively impact upon you. It just means that that video has been marked and your other videos should continue as normal. Now, if you happen to get a red mark on your monetization status, so a red $, it means that you've been completely demonetized and you won't have ads played in your video. So that will bring in no revenue for you. Again, it shouldn't affect the rest of your videos or impact upon your channel in any way. It just means that for that particular video, you won't be monetized. Now, that could have happened if you mentioned something that was completely inappropriate, if somehow the algorithm was triggered by other words or sentiments that were unfriendly, that were controversial, could incite hatred or fear. So anything really controversial, really essentially it means that you completely f***ed up. So if you did that, if you use coarse language, anything like that could trigger complete demonetization. So I don't really know to what extent using that C word in this current environment could trigger demonetization, whether you'll get the yellow sign or the red sign. It really depends on how your content is interpreted by the algorithm. First of all, another interesting development is that YouTube announced to us creators that during these times, with so many of their workforce being forced to work from home themselves, they're not going to be able to use human intervention when deciding upon which videos get demonetized. So that means there's going to be a lot of content that is picked up by the algorithm and will be flagged as inappropriate and demonetized without an opportunity for you to contest it. So normally you do have the opportunity to go in and contest that decision, but under these circumstances, you're not going to be able to. So just keep that one in mind as well. So hopefully that clarifies the demonetization that surrounds the pandemic that is affecting us all at the moment. By the way, if you have been one of those ones that are affected by the pandemic, asked to self-isolate or quarantine, I think you really have to try and make the best of a bad situation here. And I've produced a video already on dealing with isolation and the idea of maintaining a positive frame of mind and trying to turn it into an advantage by creating things that you can benefit from yourself and provide others with some value. And I think there's no better time now for content creators to be talking about this and creating positive content to help those people that are forced into these really strange environments that they're not used to dealing with. In Australia, it hasn't really hit us hard yet. We're still in the very early stages, and they've shut down certain community things like sporting events, no gatherings over 100 people at this stage. They've shut down churches. They've asked us to exercise social distancing, keeping at least 1.5 to 2 meters away from other people. But soon we can see, as the situation unfolds, that they're going to further restrict us and perhaps ask us to stay away from work environments completely, away from school for younger people. And that's going to have a further impact on those of you who are not used to spending time at home. So if you are forced to be at home, looking at ways of creating could really help you keep your sanity in check. So keep that in mind, keep your spirits up. This will pass over time and things will restore back to normal. But whilst you are in a situation that you're forced to isolate, all I can say is try and be as productive as possible. Maybe get off the mainstream media and have a look through YouTube for alternate content that's going to keep you gratified and keep you on a path of momentum moving forward that can help you develop your skills. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to hit me up with a like and consider subscribing to the channel, and you'll be notified of up and coming video releases. See you on the next one. Bye for now.